Hello and welcome. This is Allan Armitage, aka Dr. A, and I'm certainly glad you're here. This podcast is a place where we can talk about plants, gardens, and the lessons they teach us. Sometimes practical, often unexpected. Each week, I'll share stories from my experiences in the garden, as well as how plants get their common names. It's just great fun. And these are conversations drawn from a lifetime of growing and learning. Whether you're new to gardening or have been at it for years, I am so happy you're here. Let's have fun. There's so many interesting stories, and one of the ones I find most interesting is one of our wonderful ground covers. We know it botanically as Epimedium, and Epimedium is native to Japan. It is a wonderful ground cover, tolerates shade, makes some really lovely flowers in the spring, and the foliage isn't half bad either. It's just one of those plants that if you have a little space in the garden that needs filling, that happens to have at least a half a day of shade, give it a try. But a lot of us don't call it Epimedium. In fact, its, I guess, most common name is barrenwort. Now, the term W-O-R-T, wort, generally signifies looks like or is useful for. So what would barrenwort be looking like or useful for? Well, it turns out that many years ago, Japanese goat farmers would release their goats to various pastures. And in those pastures that had a bunch of this native plant called Epimedium growing in it, it turns out that there were a whole lot more little goats born in the pastures in which the various mama and papa goats were feeding. It did not take them long to figure out that whatever it was in that particular weed sure helped the birth rate of goats. Well, the Japanese farmers figured this out, so it didn't take long for others to figure out that there may be some ingredient within this plant Epimedium that helps fertility. And turns out that this plant became one of the first drugs, as we say, that helped fertility in barren women. And it therefore became known as barrenwort. That's where it gets its name. I can't make this up. And just so you know that there's other names that go with this particular plant. The flowers kind of look like it's hard for me to get into this, but they kind of look like a bishop's mitre, the hat that a bishop wears. And its another common name is bishop's hat. But the most interesting common name, I suppose, came from the fact that these goats really did have a wonderful time in plants where Epimedium was growing. And you could, I can't make this up. You go today to one of your local pharmacies that sell drugs made from plants, and ask if you can get some horny goatsweed, because that is the name that Epimedium is sold under. Horny goatsweed. As I said before, I can't make this up, but it is terrific fun to share the story of the plant that's growing in your garden. I guess I'd use barrenwort before I'd use the other names, but have fun. That's what plants are for. Well, thank you for spending part of your day with me. I hope this episode gave you something useful, or at least something to think about next time you're in the garden. If you'd like to continue the conversation, I am happy to have you join me again. And if you'd like to learn more, some of my best-selling titles are available on my website at www.allanarmitage.com. And I've written on everything from Good grief, the perennials and annuals, cut flowers, some of my best sellers of naked ladies and forget-me-nots or legends from the garden, they're all available. Please join me again. I'm looking forward to seeing you, and until then, enjoy the season, and I'll see you in the garden.